Hey, it's Mike. I'm back doing another vinyl tag, finish out the year with another one of these. So I've done the CD tag, Glenn Calloway. I did his CD tag, and then I did the Pretty Green vinyl tag. And now I'm going to do another vinyl tag that was put out by David Atkinson over in England. Music and More is the name of his channel. And he did another vinyl tag list, 20 questions, and these were all questions lifted off of previous music tag or vinyl tags from the years 2019 to 2022. So he just picked his favorite ones or whatever out of those lists and put together a kind of a super vinyl tag, I guess. He calls it the vinyl tag Redux. So I thought I'd jump in and do this one as well because I like doing tags. It's a lot of fun, and it's a chance for me to talk about maybe and show some records that I haven't shown before or don't get to talk about very often. So yeah, let's see. So we'll just start 20 questions. Let's start. Number one, what holes are you looking to fill in your vinyl collection? I am trying to fill out my Stereolab collection. I don't feel like I have enough, I guess. It's an insatiable kind of yearning to keep adding to my collection. And I've got quite a few. I've got more Stereolab than anything else in my collection, any other band, but there's still a few things that I don't have, and variations and all that kind of craziness. So I'm working on that. There's some 7 inches and 10 inches that are quite pricey, and I'm waiting to come across the right situation or some kind of bidding war or something on eBay where I can get it at a significantly lower price than hundreds of dollars. So that, I'm looking for an original My Bloody Valentine Loveless vinyl copy on Creation. I think I've got, there's a couple other variations that I don't have, but I've got a few already, and it's like my favorite album of all time. So I'd like to have an original, would be really nice. Of course, when it came out, I bought it on CD because at that time I was buying CDs. Wish I would have grabbed the vinyl, but I didn't. So now I'd like to make up for that, but they're pretty pricey as well. And then Wolfgang Press, their last album before this new one came out, the last album that they released back in the early 90s called Funky Little Demons. I'd like to get that on vinyl as well. And there's a whole, I got a whole list on a spreadsheet, and I've got a list of all the things I want to get. The Third Sundays album, the first Mazzy Star album. There's just all kinds of stuff that I'd like to get. But anyway, those are at my top of my list. Next one, favorite double album. I don't really have a lot of double albums, but an easy one for me to choose, though, is the last full-length release from the band Beach House out of Baltimore, Maryland. And this was I got my hands on a special deluxe edition of this. This came in a box, 2 records, and it's definitely a double. It's not just a single album that was spread out over 2 records. This is like 18 songs. And it's fantastic. I love this album. I used to think that this might be my favorite album of theirs, but I still go back to Bloom as being my favorite. But this is really, really close to being up there. And it's a really cool box set. I've shown it before in my Beach House video and maybe in other videos. But anyway, double album, fantastic. You can get this in just the regular format double album, and it's like got a black cover with silver foil or whatever instead of the gold. But anyway, Beach House. Once Twice Melody is the name of the album, and I think it came out in 2022. Yeah, I think so. I think that's when it came out, and we went and saw them in concert at the Greek Theater in Los Angeles right when they started touring after this album was released. So very cool experience. Next one, 10-inch record. So this is actually a 10-inch album, not a EP or a single. This is Stereolab, my favorite band. This is called Fab Four Suture. This is it came out in 2005. It's the album that came out right after Margarine Eclipse. And it's a 2-record set. And originally it came out as a bunch of 7 inches, and I have all those as well. and then they compiled it onto one record, one album, one full-length album. But when they released it on vinyl, they released it as two 10 inches rather than a 12-inch. So Fab Four Suture by Stereolab. Good stuff. My favorite song on there is called Plastic Mile, and it's one of my favorite Stereolab songs of all time. Next one, I Was There, a band you've seen. Well, I haven't seen, I lived in kind of concert deserts throughout my life, areas where bands just didn't come through all the time. I didn't live in Chicago or New York or San Francisco or Los Angeles. So when I talk about all the bands I've seen, it greatly pales in comparison to people like Mazzy or Vinyl Richie or Mike, Vinyl Hub, or whatever Hub. I forget what the name of his is, but anyway, the guy up in Chicago, Mike, he sees concerts like 3 or 4 times a week. It's crazy. Very cool. I don't get to see concerts that often, but I have seen some pretty great ones, pretty significant ones. And I just picked these out because I could do like a show and tell of the concert tour or whatever on DVD. So this is Paul McCartney's Back in the US tour. I believe it was 2003. I saw him in downtown Phoenix play where the Phoenix Suns play, is where he performed this concert. And on this DVD, they actually show footage from that concert, but most of it's from other places. But they do show a little bit of footage from the Phoenix show. But anyway, it was a fantastic show, a mix of his solo stuff and Wings stuff and a lot of Beatles. And there just wasn't a dry eye in the house. Everybody was there. Their multi-generations of families were there. And it was just just an awesome experience to see him. And his voice sounded great. Back in 2003, at least I thought so. So anyway, I was there. And then conversely, I also, Britney Spears, this is the Femme Fatale tour. And God, did I see her at the same place? This might have been out at the Coyotes Arena or whatever, where I just saw Billie Eilish. But yeah, that's where I saw it. But anyway, I like Britney Spears. I know if you watch my channel, that seems a little weird, but I do like Britney Spears, and I enjoyed this concert. So yeah, there's a couple of examples of concerts I've seen, and kind of a wide variety of different types of shows I go to see. Yeah, so anyway. Next, number 5, a discography you own all major releases of an artist or a band. And it also says, or that you own the most of if you don't have their entire discography. Well, I just picked out this just as random because I don't really talk about this band very much. It's a French electronic band, electronic dance, kind of an indie electronic dance band called Yell out of Paris. And I've seen them a couple of times. They play at the Crescent Ballroom when they come to town in downtown Phoenix. Fantastic, love them. And all the music is sung in French. And Julie, the singer, she's delightful and dances all around, and they have 2 drummers. It's just her and 2 drummers, and then everything's kind of programmed, whatever, but fantastic shows. And I love their music. And this is their debut album, Pop Up, it's called. And then I'm going to butcher some of these French names. This is their second album, Safari Disco Club, my favorite album of theirs by far. So that's their second album. And then their third album, and it's my second favorite of their albums, is Complètement Fou. And fantastic. Love this. Great songs on there. And then their fourth album, and the last one that they've released, and it is called ER Vero. I'm not sure. I butchered that completely. But yeah, and the first one and this last one, they signed it, they autographed it or whatever for me, so that was really nice. Yell, out of Paris, France. Dig it. That's all the albums, so. Anyway, I'd say the most records that I have by any one particular band, it's got to be like, Stereolab or Cocteau Twins or Curve. I have all the Pixies, except for the new one. I don't have the new one. Maybe that's why I didn't show the Pixies. I still need to get the new one. It's on my list. Yeah, Dead Can Dance. I've got a lot of these, but I just chose Yell because I never really show them or talk about them very much. Pre-band, number 6, Pre-band, an album or band who went on to become famous. Well, I remember seeing this pop up on iTunes back when iTunes was part of my musical experience. I used to refer to iTunes when they would show like new releases or whatever, and I'd click on it and listen to it, sample it first, and see if I liked it or not. And this was something that popped up, and it looked interesting. The album cover looked interesting, and I listened to it. I listened to the very first song, and I thought, oh wow, this is different. This is interesting. It's like pop music, but it's kind of indie pop. It had kind of a dark bent to it, and I really enjoyed it. And it was this first EP by Billie Eilish. And this was like literally the week it was released, I got into it and downloaded it at the time. I didn't buy it on vinyl because I wasn't buying vinyl back then. What was this, 2017? Yeah, 2017. So just about 8 years ago, 8 years ago. And it was before she was all huge or whatever. My daughter had no idea who she was at the time. And now my daughter's a huge fanatic of hers. But yeah, this was somebody that I got into before they became famous, Billie Eilish. Really cool stuff. Her concert was amazing. I'll talk about that in a future video. Probably my next video. Let's see, next one. Music or book that you'd recommend? Well, I'm really enjoying this kind of autobiography by Miki Berenyi from Lush, the lead singer and guitarist from Lush. I picked this up when I was in New York City at the Rough Trade there, and it was autographed, really cool. And so far I've read just a few of the chapters. I'm kind of bouncing around. Eventually I'll just read it straight through. But I was really interested in reading about like the making of the albums, like Spooky and Split and stuff. So really cool read if you're into Lush, the band Lush, or just interested in listening to, you know, a female musician's life becoming famous and making great music and all that kind of stuff and what that's all about. So her perspective is really interesting. She's a fascinating person. Really like her a lot. And yeah, Miki. Fingers Crossed is the name of the album, Miki Berenyi. Next one. Let's see. An album you bought cheap and now it's worth money. Well, this one, this was a compilation of the band of Stereolab. This is a compilation that they've done 5 of these now, and it's basically they'll compile a bunch of bonus tracks, B-sides, outtakes, whatever, and they'll throw them into this thing called Switched On. The very first thing that I ever bought by Stereolab was Switched On 1, Volume 1. This is Switched On Volume 4, and I was able to get the deluxe limited edition colored vinyl version. I think there were only like 250 of these made, and it's got my name written on the inside of it with Sharpie, so that I am I wasn't going to just turn around and flip it, even though people are still doing that. They have their names in them and they're flipping them, but I had no interest in flipping it anyway because they're my favorite band. I'm going to keep it, of course. But yeah, I bought it for like, I think $35. It's a 2-record set, and it's now worth, I don't know, like soon after it was released, it was upwards of $250, $300, at least the asking price. Right now it's anywhere between $100 and $150. So yeah, it's pretty decent. Not too shabby. It's got some great songs on it too. Hard to find stuff. Let's see, the next one, number 9, my favorite drummer. This guy from the Canadian trio called Rush, Neil Peart, my favorite drummer, and my favorite guitarist right there is Alex Lifeson. But anyway, the question is drummers, and definitely Neil. There's a lot of drummers that I love, but Neil will always be my favorite. Let's see, next one. A trilogy, 3 great back-to-back albums from the same artist. This is really easy. I could pick so many different bands, but I decided to show this one, Sonic Youth, and the reason why I chose this was because it definitely is these 3. There's other bands where it can continue on to 4, 5, 6 albums in a row, but this one for me started and stopped with these 3 being their best. Sonic Youth, Evil, my favorite Sonic Youth album. And then right after that came out was Sister. I need to find an original with the not blacked out artwork. I used to have it too, and I sold it like an idiot, and now I need to, this is just a, I think this is on Blast First, I'm not sure, but this is obviously a reissue with the censored images. But yeah, Sister, they're I don't remember which album in order this is, but the one right after Evil. And then after that was their blockbuster Daydream Nation. I guess I could have chosen this as a double album too that I really love. But yeah, double album, Daydream Nation. This is when I finally got to see them in concert. I saw them twice on this tour in Tallahassee and Orlando. Yeah, Sonic Youth. 3 fantastic albums by them. And then to me, they kind of dropped off after that. Let's see. An album that needs a vinyl pressing. I always say this in these, when I get these questions in these videos. Curve, kind of a shoegaze industrial kind of band out of England. This is their 3rd studio album, Come Clean, and their 4th studio album, Gift. There have been no vinyl releases for these yet. Hopefully, I think they were released on Universal, and hopefully someday they will get released on vinyl. I would love to have these on vinyl. Next one, a girl group. I don't really have many groups that are like all girls. Usually it's like there's a guy playing bass or a guy playing drums or something to mess up that, but I just chose this one, Bananarama. The 3 ladies there from England. Bananarama, this is their self-titled 2nd studio album. And I think it's Karen and Sarah and Shaban. Shaban, I'm not sure how to pronounce her name. But anyway, 3 lovely ladies, Bananarama, girl group. Let's see, next one, a punk album. Well, I just kind of picked one of my all-time favorite punk albums, DRI, Dirty Rotten Imbeciles, and this is Dealing With It. They're, I don't know if you call Dirty Rotten EP, I guess was their first release, and this is their 2nd. Just total hardcore craziness. Super fast songs. There's like 20 songs on this album, and you know, they average maybe a minute at the most. Fantastic, super fast. Love them. I wish that, I'm hoping that they come through again, because every time they come through Phoenix, I miss them. And I've never seen them live before. Hopefully I'll get to see them live maybe this coming year. But anyway, Dirty Rotten Imbeciles, Dealing With It. Love this album. Next one. Album by the first artist or band you saw live. Well, I like to think of this as the actual first band that I saw and officially, and then the first band that I fits more into my type of music that I listen to. So my very first concert was Scorpions. It wasn't this album though. I don't have the record for Love at First Sting, which is the album that came out after this one. The album has that song, Rock You Like a Hurricane. That was my first official concert, I guess, was the Scorpions, and Bon Jovi opened, and that was back when Bon Jovi was just starting out with their single Runaway. So Bon Jovi wasn't famous at that point. We just knew the song Runaway. But anyway, these are the 2 Scorpion albums that I still have from back when I was in high school or middle school, I think. I think I had these in middle school. Anyway, Scorpions. And then the first concert that I was like, okay, this is my kind of music, was Missing Persons. I saw them in, I believe it was Tampa. It was at the University of South Florida campus or somewhere near the campus there. And I got to see Missing Persons on this tour, the, what is it, Rhyme and Reason tour. So they're fantastic, and really happy I got to see them back in their heyday. Let's see, next one, album in the shrink. I think this is the only album that I have right now that's in shrink still. And I don't know why I still have it in shrink, because I usually take this shrink wrap off. But it's The's Infected. And yeah, I got this used at a record show down in Tucson, and it still has the shrink on it. I don't know why I haven't taken it off yet. Maybe I'll do that someday, or maybe I'll just keep it on just for no reason. But great album, and yeah. Album in the Shrink. Next one, album from a different continent. That's number 16. Well, I don't really, everything that I have is either from 3 continents. It's either North America, or it's Europe, or it's Australia. Those are the only 3. I don't think I have anything from Asia or Africa. I know a lot of you do. I don't. Or South America or Antarctica. I don't have any albums, I don't think, from any of those. So I picked Europe, but I picked a country that's not really talked about a whole lot, and that's Sweden. This is a band called Kamida. This is their second full-length album. The first one sung in English, and they are from Umeå, Sweden, and they are fantastic, and they are no longer a band. I wish they were, because I absolutely love their music. This is the only album, I believe, that they released on vinyl. Their other 3 albums are just CD or whatever, so hopefully I get vinyl releases on those too. So Sweden represented. Next one, an album with at least 8 people on the jacket cover. Well, I think the last time because I remember this question from an old vinyl tag. I think I showed Circle Jerks' Wild in the Streets. I didn't want to repeat, so I picked this one. Portishead live, Roseland, New York City live, and it's got the orchestra there on the stage with the band. So there's plenty of people, a lot more than 8 people on that album cover. Fantastic live album. Let's see, a favorite soundtrack album. Well, it's going to be one of the 2 by this guy. I love Parade, the soundtrack for the movie Under the Cherry Moon. So yeah, I absolutely love this. Mountains, is that the first? No, it's the first song on side 2. Is probably my favorite Prince song, and it's just got a lot of really fantastic songs on this album. I love this. I don't know. I waffle back and forth between, is this my favorite Prince album, or is Purple Rain my favorite Prince album, which is also a soundtrack. So I could have picked either one of those, but I chose this one this time. And the next time I'm asked that question, I'll show Purple Rain. Let's see, last 2 questions. Number 19, an album with no writing on the jacket. Well, it took me a while to figure this one out. I didn't really, it seems like there were lots of albums I had where the name of the band was in small print, like down below or whatever. This is Dead Can Dance, and it's called Anastasis, and it is their second to last studio album. And there you see no writing, no list of the band. It is on the spine, but it is not on the cover. And there's no writing on the back cover except for the barcode. And I guess the little record label there. But no mention of what the name of the album is or the name of the band is. So really beautiful cover. Dead Can Dance, Anastasis. Really, really cool album. And then the number 20, the last question. Your favorite VC experience and or advice for people contemplating making videos. I don't really know how to answer this question, so I left it blank. My favorite VC experience, I don't know. I think it's really cool watching channels and seeing music that I've never heard before, and I'll go and look it up on either YouTube or Spotify or whatever and listen to it and decide whether or not I like it. For those channels that don't do needle drops, I have to go and look them up or whatever. And I always enjoy like the experience of finding new bands and really getting into something new and different. I enjoy that. And if I provide that opportunity for somebody else who's watching my videos, that's really cool. I mean, that's really what it's all. That's why we, in my younger years, I would make people mixtapes, you know, or either burn CDs or cassette tapes, make them cassette tapes of the music that I liked, hoping that it would rub off on my friends and stuff, and they would get into the same music that I was getting into. So I think that feeling, I guess, that you're spreading this awesome experience of this band that you love or whatever, and passing it on to somebody else is a really cool thing. Just being here and being able to talk about music and stuff too. I feel like it's all kind of bottled up in me all the time, and that's why I started making videos. Was, you know, I have this love for music, I have love for records, for vinyl, and even CDs, and DVDs, like music DVDs, concert DVDs, all that stuff. Just the whole media of music and stuff. I really enjoy getting into bands and sharing that stuff with other people, and so I'm able to just spread it, worldwide. People reach out to me from England or from I don't know, Budapest or whatever, and it's just fantastic hearing from all these different people with their different viewpoints and ideas and suggestions and all that stuff. It's just really an awesome community, and yeah, I just love the shit out of that kind of stuff. So anyway, thank you guys for watching. This is it. I'll put a link to his channel, David Atkinson, Music and More. And you can try to do one of these vinyl tag REDUX vinyl tags yourself. And if not, just check out his channel and watch his stuff, and maybe make your own video or whatever, or have this be your first video, because I think the vinyl tag is like the best starting point for making videos for your burgeoning, starting out music channel. I think it's a really great way to introduce yourself and give people a kind of a varied taste of what kind of music you're into. So anyway, enough rattling on. Merry Christmas, everybody. It's Christmas Eve right now, and happy holidays, and happy Hanukkah, and all the other holidays out there that you all celebrate. Hope you have a great time during the season, and look forward to hearing from you. And I'll do another video here pretty soon, probably this coming weekend, showing what records I got for Christmas and vinyl finds and all that. Get back into that groove. So anyway, thanks for watching. Love you all. See you later. Bye.